Roger Stone here. Your dollars are losing ground, but gold isn't. American Sovereign Bullion helps you protect your wealth through real, tangible assets. Through their nationwide wholesaler network, you get some of the best pricing on gold and silver delivered straight to your door. Since 1912, the U.S. dollar has lost 97% of its purchasing power. Meanwhile, gold continues to prove its strength. So call 844-272-2428. That's 844-272-2428. Or visit dyingdollar.com to request your free gold and silver guide. That's dyingdollar.com.
Listen, all you New Yorkers. Taxi. Okay, we're looking around.
This is the 77 WABC minicast.
And we are back here. Let's go to Brigadier General Blaine Holt, of course, former C-17 combat commander, also U.S. Deputy Military Representative to NATO. And General Holt, what are you hearing about this, the Hantavirus? Because now there are a whole bunch of cases that are there in Nebraska and also in Newt's home place in Georgia, and Emory University there in Georgia.
Well, if there's anything you needed to reaffirm the old cliche that history may not repeat, but it certainly rhymes, it's a very eerie time because, we're still echoing from the COVID time, and Hanta is... if proven, Hanta is a very serious thing. We're all diving in and doing as much research as we can. On my very own podcast, Dangerous Intellectuals, next Monday, I'll have Dr. Peter McCullough on to talk about this exact thing. But all of my intel groups tell me that if it is a human-to-human transmissible under the Andes virus, it can be very, very lethal. Up to 35% of its recipients have a lethal outcome in the past from history. And so we're hearing everything from the old COVID language of get a PCR test, get this, get that. And I know Americans are so leery. And so what we have to do is, I think right now is a very, very important time to be careful. Don't overreact. Learn as much as you can. Keep yourself safe. And stay up on the news and listen to WABC 77 because we're going to be talking about it all the time for the next few weeks, I think.
By the way, the other thing, John, you and I were talking over the weekend about this drone at the Victory Parade there in Russia. What are you hearing on that?
Well, the drone that appeared at the Victory Parade could have been a very lethal outcome. If something were to disrupt that parade, you can only imagine what the Russian response would have been. And the Russians are already promising to step on the gas. They're actually telling Kiev, you should evacuate because we're considering ending the war by just taking out the entire capital. That's what they really mean when Sharapova says Kiev should evacuate. That's where she's going. And where I think I see promise and hope is that Putin's remarks indicate a leader who may be ready to wrap this war up on the right terms. And I'm hoping that President Trump's team can get in there and re-spark a new diplomatic dialogue and hopefully this time get the European leaders on board to help pursue something that's acceptable for where we find ourselves in the military realities of today.
Well, what the heck? I mean, you got a pulse of the situation. There's other reports that Putin might have gone to China to have a consultation before the meeting. Any truth to that?
I don't think so, but I definitely believe there is a strong dialogue right now between Beijing and Moscow. But I think if you look at all the operations we've done from Venezuela to Iran, the Straits of Hormuz, the Indonesian defense agreement, John, I also think there's been United States coordination with Beijing and Moscow behind the scenes, because largely, if you look at Iran, Russia and China have stayed on the sidelines. And when you think about how much China has at stake with what happens in Iran, that is no small diplomatic feat. And so I'm actually looking for very good things to come out of this Beijing meeting, but I'm also looking to see a continued presence that the three most powerful states in the world, Russia, China, and America, are going to have diplomatic back channels no matter what's happening in this world. And actually, that's in all our best interest.
Newt Gingrich, any questions for General Holt?
Yeah, I'm curious. Do you think that the United States has the capacity to actually break the Iranian regime, or do you think we have to find some kind of negotiated deal?
I don't see a negotiated deal in front of us. First off, we can't leave a regime in place that'll be revenge-minded forever, and these are the ones that dream about Armageddon. The second thing is nuclear weapons in the hands of such psychopaths is not something we should be leaving our grandkids with. But I do think that time is on our side. We've only really been at this thing for 2.5 months, despite the terrible economic circumstances and food circumstances we see. And Speaker Gingrich, I remember you from when I was a young man in my house, and you used to come over and have a nice chat with my dad, Glenn Holt, if you remember back from Georgia back in the day.
Oh, my God.
Oh, how beautiful was that?
That's great. That brings back a lot of memories.
Well, he loved you very much, and I'll tell you, I think our president is on the right track. We don't have 130,000 troops on the ground in Iran. We absolutely are going to eradicate a nuclear threat away from the Middle East here. We're going to a place called the Abraham Accords. We're going to stoke a revolution that causes an Iranian people to be self-governed. And if everybody wants to throw rocks at President Trump for that type of outcome, well, I don't know what else you have to do to impress people, but certainly we're not repeating what we did in Iraq and Afghanistan.
Wow. Very powerful.
Well, General Holt, thank you so much for coming on, and keep your eyes and ears open. We depend on you. The country depends on you, and God bless America.
They're open, and go Dogs. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
77 WABC and Bergen Newbridge Medical Center honor the life of legendary broadcaster and our friend, Ernie Anastas.
Hi, it's Ernie Anastas. You know, your thoughts can affect how you feel. Bergen Newbridge Medical Center is the largest hospital in New Jersey, providing comprehensive, equitable, compassionate, and high-quality emergency inpatient and outpatient medical care, plus mental health services and substance use disorder treatment. The Bergen Newbridge team can address your total health needs in one convenient location. Call 201-225-7130 for an appointment or newbridgehealth.org.